In season 7 of Mad Men, Don Draper has drunken himself to the brink of a second divorce and to the brink of losing his partnership at his ad agency, a company that he started. He's reluctantly asked back to work, but with rules and stipulations. No drinking, no client meetings, and he has to not only work under the guy who replaced him, he's got to work under Peggy, the woman he managed for a very long time and started out as his assistant. The agency is working on landing a new client, so Peggy asks one of the low-level copywriters to come up with 25 different taglines by Monday. Exactly the job you ask a low-level copywriter to do. And she asks Don to do the same thing. Irate for having to take on such a low-level task, he throws his typewriter against the window and then he storms out of the office. He comes back on Monday morning, not with the taglines, and decides to blow off the meeting with Peggy to get shit-faced drunk. Don is patching up the wounds to his ego with stupidity, stubbornness, and a bottle of antibiotic ointment labeled selfish pride. And here's the thing, these are all wounds that he inflicted on himself. Fred, an old faithful work buddy, gets Don the hell out of the office. When Don sobers up, Fred says, "What the hell are you doing? Aren't they giving you a second chance?" Don says, "They're not serious about it. They finally gave me something to do and it was to write 25 tags for Peggy. I just want my old job back." And Fred says, "How the hell do you think that's going to happen when you're at the bottom of a bottle? You're going to kill yourself and give them what they want? Or you're going to go in your bedroom, get in uniform, fix your bayonet, and hit the parade?" Then his good buddy Fred says the thing we all need to hear when we're in our ego, when we're drowning in our own stubbornness, when we're hungover from our own selfish pride, and when we're staring at the bottom of whatever our version of a bottle is. Fred says, "Do the work, Don. Do the work." The next day, Don shows up to work bright and early. Peggy walks into his office and Don says, "I'll have your tags by lunch." Don winds up rebuilding the trust with his colleagues and gets his old job back and then some. Yes, this deuce is about doing the work. But when we've done the work of creating self-inflicting wounds, when we've done the work of picking up bottles, when we've done the work to get ourselves in a position that we don't want to be in, we have to do the work to get ourselves out of it by getting out of our own ego and having the humility to own our shit. And regardless of what the work is, regardless of who's asking us to do the work, regardless of how shitty that work might be, regardless of how distant the results of the work might be, words of advice, gents, from a good buddy of yours. Write the 25 tags. Do the work. Work her out.